Okay, we're here, Fighting Chance Promotions, with their new signing, Mr. Andy El Canon Buchanan.
How you doing, Phil, mate? You alright?
I'm doing really well. It's an interesting move, this one, for you, because you're with Ronnie Rowe.
Yeah. Old coach.
Yeah. I mean, you tell me what's the history with Ronnie?
Well, Ronnie was my coach back in. We moved from our old team's gym. When that shut down, we moved to Berkeley. It was a natural progression for where the gyms were and where we were training.
Yeah.
We moved over there. Had a good bunch of lads. Obviously, Ronnie was training. And that was the first time I went to the gym, the old fire station in Berkeley, you know. Freezing cold, knee heating on all the time. Got to wear with 6 tops to get yourself warmed up.
Yeah.
And that was my first meeting over there. Trained with him, got to know him. Obviously, we've done a lot together. In terms of like success, you know, won a lot of titles at Berkeley, boxed for England at Berkeley. Some good lads coming through at the time as well, you know, like it was a cracking gym.
Yeah.
Obviously, we left. Personally, it was amicable for me, you know, like we just left and went on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Never had a problem with Ron, kind of thing. We moved on to the path that where we went. Ronnie obviously stayed at Berkeley.
Yeah.
Berkeley obviously went from strength to strength, one of the best clubs in Britain, you know, like one of the top clubs, you know. One's went to the pros, and it's funny how it's kind of like came
full circle
from that, you know. It's interesting to be back training with Ron, actually, because like a couple of times on the pads, you know, like I found myself having a little bit of muscle reaction and going back to like a little bit amateurs, you know, like just remembering like what it was like on the pads. I think sometimes you go somewhere on the pads and like you get used to their technique and how they chuck the pads about and things like that, and it sticks with you, you know.
Well, Ronnie, I would think Ronnie will still be in the adaptation process.
Yeah.
If changing to the pros, it's not like he needs to learn about boxing, but it's, you know, it's over a different format.
Yeah.
And you get so many different styles in the pro game. So it's I suppose you could actually help him adapt to it with you having the background with him as an amateur as well.
Yeah. I think the whole point of the move as well, with what I've been talking with Ron and Lewis as well, is that like everyone's working together, you know. Sport to Ron spoke says like we've got a bit of feedback there, you know, like because we've knew each other before, there's a little bit of history, so we've got that level of trust where we can say either something's working or something's not, you know. Which appeals to us, you know. Obviously Ron's moved on with his technique, how he trains people, how he does the coach, how he wants his fighters, or how he how he brings the best of fighters out and stuff like that. And that's the kind of thing like I'm learning to improve on. Obviously with him and Gary, very technical. It's always been technical, and that's always been my thing. So
well, that was interesting because I was speaking to Gary earlier, and when he first came to Berkeley, he was telling me it was all about Andy Buchanan. Oh, everybody looks up to Andy Buchanan, sort of thing, you know. Yeah. And now that he's actually got the chance to work with you now, he's totally made up over it, like, which that's the way it should be.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like I remember Gary coming in, saying like him and his brother and his dad, 99, like the gangly thing coming in the gym and that, and he was that was the place and loads of energy and I remember him coming in. He was always a lovely lad, and like worked with him when I was younger. Obviously, I was at that level where I was at England level. I was away all the time, backwards and forwards. So like it fed the gym as it does with like every other gym. Like this gym, you've got John Lewis and Travis and Craig, and they're all up there and they're doing well, and everybody feeds off it, you know. And it's nice to be away from the sport and come back and see how Gary's progressed. And now in his coaching role, you know, like
he's not so gangly now as well.
Yeah, he's filled out a little bit. I'll give him that. Like, he's gone from he's got that experience as well. You know, like he went through them levels. He's boxed at like ABAs, England, international. You know, so he's got that experience as well, the technical experience. And it shows, you know, like doing a little bit of work. We haven't had a lot of time at the minute to work together, but what we have done, you know, like it's everyone's bouncing off each other a bit, you know, like everyone remembers just that little bit. Oh yeah, this, yeah, I remember that. And
so a lot of the fans, because obviously you only get so many in the local shows because there's only so much room in the small halls. So a lot of the local fans still wouldn't have had the chance to see you yet. But in terms of the background, you obviously you had about 8 years out.
I did, yeah. To be honest, it was I turned pro about 2000 when I first turned pro. Originally it was with Gary McCrory, Glenn McCrory at their North Road gym, you know,
Yeah.
straight from the amateurs. I think I finished off my year last year in amateurs with them, you know. And then like bit of a falling out. We ended up my brother out for a couple of years. So I think I was out for I think I had about 4 fights. That's when I lost.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple of years out from then. Came back at Gus Robinson's gym. I think that must have been about 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
Had one fight then. Obviously, my family. I had a little girl back then. Had to make a decision. You know, like I was living in Whitley Bay at the time. It was a 70-mile round commute to the gym every night. You know.
Plus, you didn't have the local boxing scene like you have
No,
now.
no.
There's a platform.
No, that's one thing what I've noticed when I've came back. You know, like there's a good depth in the boxers, in the divisions, different weight categories from around the northeast as well. There's good local rivalries. There's a lot of promoters, a lot of different like people, gyms, especially like amateurs. Sometimes someone's saying, "Oh, I can remember this gym, that gym." I'm like, "You know, I can't remember them." You know, like, but there were new gyms that sprouted up, or they changed the names, and they've got new coaches and things
So
like
the
that.
landscapes. Obviously, you've been out for 8 years, and you come back in, and it's like, oh, that's changed.
Come back, and I'm like, oh, well, that gym's top now, and that never used to be there. And that one's, where's that one gone? That one's shut down. Different things like that, you know. But it's all exciting for me because, like, when I was out, I had to make a decision to say, like, boxing's got to go. I've got to get a full-time job, look after my family.
Family comes first.
It had to happen, you know. And I was so bitter about that. I couldn't watch boxing. I couldn't follow it. It hurt us. Because I was always very studious of boxing. Like used to watch like Collect the Ring magazines, KO magazine, and like boxing news, and like had piles of tapes. Piles of tapes everywhere, amateur tapes, professional tapes, everything. You know, I used to watch it 24/7, and then for us to go from that to nothing, it was just like down straight away. But coming back. It's just more for us to learn, you know. Like I didn't know who the champions were, who was winning what, professional wise, who were the big stars. And you come back and see some of the lads now who are like mega stars, and like they were juniors and stuff when I wasn't. I think, oh, I'm getting on a bit new, like, you know. And all the fellas who I was training with at the time, they're all world champions and boxing this, that, and the other, and they're British boxing legends, you know. Like, and I missed out on all of that. But it's nice. I've got no regrets over like anything like that.
No. Well, you've got your lovely family there.
Family,
so
that they're number one. You know, like.
And the boxing's far from over, because I mean.
Oh no.
We've mentioned before. Have I mentioned that I'm Andrew Buchanan's #1 fan? But there's a reason for that, because after 8 years out, I mean, I didn't follow the amateur game, so I hadn't heard of you. So obviously, you know, against the local scene, the amateur scene, everybody will have known who Andy Buchanan was, but because it's not very well publicised, the amateur scene, if you're not involved in there. So you coming back and just the way that you fought, your style of fighting, it was just fantastic, and it was. What, you're 35 now?
Nearly
35, so still on 34. But after having so many years out, there's a freshness about you.
Yeah, I think it's down to the fact. This is part of the reason why I've came with Fighting Chance in Ron and Gary as well. Like when I was boxing, I was always known as like my dad used to call us like the Ghost and things like that, like all these daft nicknames, because like I never used to get hit. Yeah. And I used to take great pride in like making people miss, you know.
Yeah. Hit and not get hit.
To me, that's what boxing's all about, you know. And like I've always said I'm a big fan of the technical game. If someone can like throw a jab and make them miss and like just take a little step back, I'm like, oh, bravo, you know what I mean? And like that's the kind of thing that I like, and that's the way I've always fought. I think coming back, I've lost a little bit of like me footwork, just me little timing and distance.
But I think natural.
Yeah. But I think I still think it's there. It's just I've just got to work on it that bit more. I don't want to be in wars. I don't want to. It's great to stand and watch, you know, like, and for a spectator, it's brilliant to stand and watch. But my wife, when I come home and I've got a bit of a black eye and a bust nose and like me ribs are up there, so like it's not so much nice for her, you know. So, but that's how I like to fight. I like to be in and out, and I like to be like the fast movements, move my head, the like bit showmanship, drop my hands. And I think I just need to connect with that again. I need to get back to that. And that's that. I love boxing. I've always loved boxing since I first laced a set of gloves up. And for me to be like still boxing now and like still able to give something, personally, I think I've still got a couple of years few years left to go. Like it's like got a good team with the physio, strength and conditioning, get me diet. I've always been alright with diet. Get these all in check, and I think
but if you can refine things slightly, make slight improvements here, they all accumulate together, don't they?
Definitely. I think for me, enjoying what I'm doing is a big part about it. If I'm in the gym and I'm like, it's one of them things where
it becomes a chore. Then you'll go through it like a chore as opposed to grabbing it with both hands.
That's it. Like a little. If I'm in the gym and I'm enjoying myself, I'm like, oh, this is mint. Like, I'll do this and do that, and on a high and buzzing. It doesn't happen all the time. You're always gonna have your down days, don't get us right and all that. But the day when I'm thinking, I just can't be bothered with this anymore, is the day I'll walk away because I know that I'm gonna start getting hurt, or like I'm not gonna be able to like give me best, you know.
Well, was it 2012 when you made your comeback?
I think it was.
I think was it on Steve Wraith's show?
No, alright. Was Steve Wraith's on the May? Might have been 13.
Because then you fought Johnson McClum for after that.
Yeah.
In the Summer Rumble, which was the North East Fight of the Year.
Yeah.
And you know, everything was going really well, and then there obviously with certain fights getting pulled and certain things in 2014.
Nightmare.
Inactivity has obviously been a hit, more than a hindrance for you, and obviously with your last fight you had some niggles in there, so you know, the fans who hadn't seen you didn't get a chance to see you, but you've got a fight coming up in a few weeks. It's a rematch with Alistair Warren, I believe.
It is, yes.